ala Muhammad. Okay, students, before we start our class this evening, let us say doa, and we do hope Allah blesses us and can get beneficial knowledge. Say doa, begin. Amin. Okay, let me check gateway because previously gateway system error. Okay, let me check again. I think still have error, so we cannot settle the attendance now. Or let me try again. Let's see. Yeah, I think still have problem. So we cannot settle the attendance now. Then you need to write your name, into the number in chat room. I will settle your attendance. Okay. Then we'll share my slide. Now can you see my slide?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Don't forget, write your name and the number in chat room because we cannot go to gateway to settle our attendance. Okay. PPIC2 is the next course after PPIC1. In PPIC1, we have learned about planning. Actually, when we try to refresh our mind, material in PPIC1 is about planning. Everything is about planning. What I'm trying to say is we start from forecasting, means that we need to plan. We need to plan the demand, the future. We need to predict the demand in the future. After we can predict, then we can use it as the basis to arrange or to plan our resources. And the resources is the workforce. So we try to arrange aggregate planning. So after we arrange aggregate planning, actually there are two critical outputs from aggregate planning. The first is the production plan, but still in family products, not in item. And the second is the total cost. As manager, of course, we need to be able to arrange budget. So that's why we need to know, roughly the cost required to execute our production activity. And the second is the first, the first important output is the production target. And after that, because the production target is still in family, then we need to break down it, become production target of every item. We do it in MPS, Master Production Schedule. Not only breaking down the family, but also we try to smoothing the period. In aggregate planning, we arrange everything monthly, but in MPS, we arrange everything weekly. Some company requires to arrange MPS daily, not weekly. For example, if you talk about just-in-time company, let's say Astra, Astra Toyota Motor, actually they implement just-in-time, so they need to arrange the MPS daily, not weekly. So it depends on the requirements. It can be weekly or daily. And after that, when we try to continue about the planning, then after we know the production target of every item, then we can break down the item become the requirements of components. Because as we know, a final product consists of several components. So we can breaking down the item becomes components. After that, after we break down the components, then we know by nature, component can be purchased from external supplier or can be ordered from internal, from our production department. So actually there are two types of components, we have to purchase from external supplier if we cannot produce by ourselves, or we can produce by ourselves. So actually there are two types of supplier, it can be external or internal. External means, as we know, we order from the other company, so it called as external supplier. But actually, if we can produce by ourselves, then we need to order from our internal company. We can order from our production department. So after we arrange MRP, after we arrange MPS, then we break down, becomes required components, then we can arrange MRP. So in MRP, material requirements planning, we know, the output is the production target or order, for external supplier for particular components weekly. Like that. If we need to produce, if we can produce by ourselves, then it will be the production command. Production command for production department. after that we can continue to manage our production shop floor. Okay, we finished. We finished. After we arrange MRP, included the lot sizing, we already finished the planning. Lot sizing, I think you remember about that. Lot sizing, we use it to manage the stock for dependent products. For independent products, we need to implement inventory. Inventory analysis. So actually, in inventory, there are two type of method. The first method called as deterministic inventory model, and the second called as probabilistic inventory model. And after we arrange an inventory, means that we've finished all of the plan. After we finish the plan, of course, we need to execute it. So besides planning, we need to have controlling. We need to implement our plan. After we implement, then we need to control, because we need to make sure that everything is can be run accordingly. We have target, we have plan, so we need to execute the plan, and after that we need to control. We need to make sure that production activity is running well, according to the plan, like that. That's why, the first material in PPIC2 will be scheduling. You can try to understand. After you arrange MRP, you already know the production target of every component weekly. So it will be the production command. So we need to pass this information to our operator in production shop floor. After that, we need to control. After that, we need to schedule the machine, so our machine can work. Can work according to the schedule in MRP. So the first will be scheduling. After that, after we schedule our machine, then you can imagine. We already produced the components, and after that, we also already ordered. Several components from external supplier. After we receive all of the required components, then we need to assembly. We need to assembly the components become final product. That's why after scheduling, the material will be assembly line management. The issue in assembly line is balancing the workstation load. Why we need to balance the load of every workstation, because when the load of every workstation is not balanced, then it creates bottlenecks. Bottlenecks. What is bottleneck? Later we discuss about that. But we need to avoid bottlenecks. That's why we need to balance the workload of every workstation in assembly line balancing. Okay, student. After that, it means that we already assemble the components become final products. So everything is finished. So we can wrap. We can wrap this production management. We can wrap. So because we already finished everything. Beside this technique, we need to learn another techniques, because beside MRP2, we call it from forecasting until assembly line balancing, we call it as MRP2, manufacturing resource planning 2 techniques. Beside this technique, we still have another techniques. For example, if we try to observe just-in-time company, let's say the Toyota Motor, they implement just-in-time. Just-in-time is another techniques beside MRP2. So we need to know about that. That's why after we learn assembly line balancing, we will learn about just-in-time techniques. Not only that, we also need to learn about group technology. What is that? Later we discuss about that. But group technology actually is the technique to arrange the layout of the machine. And after we can arrange the layout of our machine, then we can use it to support just-in-time techniques like that. And then after we learn about just-in-time and also group technology, then we also need to know about the CAPP, computer-aided process planning. You can imagine when we try to produce a components, the raw material, the shape of the raw material will be different. It can be, let's say, a cylinder like that. Then we need to process this cylinder become the components. So we need to have plan. We need to have good plan. How to process this cylinder become the components like that. So we need to consider about the manufacturing process. There are several types of manufacturing process. Let's say milling, sewing, grinding, and so on. Then we need to know. We need to have good plan. Whether we want to use milling or boring or maybe grinding machine like that. To process the raw material become components. It's called as CAPP, Computer Aided Process Planning. Yeah, process planning aided by computer. It means that we need to, even though we will use software, yeah, to arrange the CAPP, but we need to know, as engineer, we need to know the engine behind the software. Yeah, the engine called as CAPP, yeah, Computer Aided Process Planning. Yeah. Okay, student, now you understand, yeah. In PPIC2, it will be more on controlling. Yeah, we need to implement our planning. Yeah, after we finish everything, then we need to execute our plan. But before we discuss further, we also need to know about the manufacturing planning and control, the basic concept of that. Yeah, manufacturing planning and control basic concept. Okay, this is the main. I think we can skip. Then this one, yeah, for introduction, MPC or manufacturing planning and control concerned with the planning and controlling. See. Yeah, after we finish planning, then we need to go to controlling. We need to implement our plan. After that, we need to control. Yeah, why we need to control? Because we need to make sure that the production activity can be run, yeah, according to the plan. Yeah, and then the objective is to manage the material. Yeah, to manage the material means that we need to implement MPC to make sure that the material is ready when required. Yeah. Because when we need to produce product, yeah, then after that we check the material is not available, it creates lateness. Yeah, we don't want to have it. We don't want to have lateness because lateness it will be costly. Yeah, our customer will give us penalty. Yeah, if we can fulfill the order from customer, then the customer will give us penalty, or maybe the reputation of the company will be good. Yeah, if we cannot fulfill our promise, if we cannot fulfill our promise, then the reputation will be not good. And then so here managing material is very important. Yeah, to make sure the material is ready when required. And the second objective is scheduling machine and people. As I explained before, after we finish the planning, we need to execute. So after that, the execution will be like this. Scheduling the machine. We need to schedule the machine. Don't forget, when we learn MRP2, this technique is implemented in terms of MTS, make to stock. Make to stock means that we produce the product to be stocked. Not to be used to fulfill the order, no, but to be stocked. After we have stock, then the customer will come to purchase our products. So it can be cash and carry. Customer just go to shop. After that, the product already there. Then customer just cash and carry. So from the company point of view, we need to be able to produce before we receive the demand from customer. It's called as make to stock. The key performance indicator of MTS, make to stock company, is increasing the productivity. So the objective of scheduling will be how to shortening the production cycle time. If we can shortening the production cycle time or CT, cycle time of the production, then we can produce more products. It means that we can increase our productivity like that. So the objective of machine scheduling is to minimize the make span, to minimize the cycle time of the production, and also the people we can neglect it, because we concern on the machine. And after that, don't forget, besides the component that we can produce by ourselves, we also need to order several components from external supplier. That's why here we need to coordinate the supplier as well. Why? Because we have critical schedule. We already have critical schedule. Remember, MRP is critical schedule. If we cannot fulfill the plan in MRP, then we cannot success our MPS. It will break our MPS. It means that we need to revise the MPS but MPS is already mastered. We already transfer it, we already pass it to our operator. That's a problem. That's why, after we have MRP, we need to understand MRP is critical schedule, critical plan. So we need to make sure if we need to order several components from external company, we also need to manage that company. Why? Because we need to make sure those company can deliver the product on time. Sorry, not product, but components. This company needs to deliver the components on time. It need to be on time because we have critical schedule in MRP. If the company, the supplier, our suppliers deliver the products late, then it will break our MRP. If we cannot success our MRP, then we need to revise our MPS. If we need to revise our MPS, we need to revise our aggregate planning as well. If we need to revise our planning, then we need to revise our forecasting as well. So the problem will become bigger and bigger. Yeah, like that. Coordinating suppliers and the key customers. Don't forget. Yeah. We also need to maintain our customer. Yeah, become loyal customer. If no, then our competitor, our competitor will try to cover our customer. Then our customer will churn. Yeah, will move or will shift to the other company. Like that. MPC is sensitive to time and markets and company strategies. Of course, we can understand. Yeah, sensitive to time. Okay, from time to time. For example, pandemic gives us a very good, sorry, very good learning. Yeah, before pandemic, we know that everything is normal. Yeah, but during pandemic, a lot of company change the product, become healthy products. If like that, their MPC will be different. Yeah, must be changed. So it is sensitive to time and also the markets. Maybe the company wants to capture another market, want to create new customer. If like that, the MPC must be modified. Yeah, it will be different. And also the company strategies. Yeah, first maybe the company implement make to stock company, but during pandemic, since they need to save the cost and since they need to reduce the waste, then maybe they change to make to order company. Yeah, if like that, it means that the strategy of the company is changed. Then the MPC for MTS make to stock and the MPC for MTO make to order will be different. It means that MPC is sensitive to company strategy. Yeah. Okay, student. Let's continue. Internationalization, of course, Okay, borderless world as the impact of information technology development drive manufacturing system to become global supply chain system. As we know, using internet, we can order the material from supplier in another country. It means that we also have chance to have customer. It is about supplier, but if we need to have a customer in another country, also we can. We can create let's say a marketplace or maybe e-commerce to sell a product to the customer in the other country like that. So we can imagine, if our customer is become wider, then of course the demand will be higher. If like that, then it will change our MPC. And also, the environment or maybe the nature of the customer in our country, local customer, I mean, and the nature of customer from the other country will be different. It means that our company must be ready for customization. Maybe the customer in other country will ask our company to modify our products. If like that, we must be able to be flexible. So it will change our MPC as well. Like that. Role of customer: faster responses and lower cost for customer require customer integration and responsiveness. By nature, as customer, we also prefer to we will ask the company to supply us the products faster. It means that as customer, so we can imagine as company also our customer will ask us to deliver the product faster like that. So role of customer will change our MPC. Okay, student, let's continue again. Increasing use of IT. Later you will have lab work using ERP system. What is ERP? ERP is enterprise resources planning. Our university also implement this system. Our university implements SAP software. SAP software is ERP software. Using ERP software, we can manage everything. Okay, we can try to imagine. We can try to imagine. As a company, we need to manage our customer. But after that, when our customer place an order to our company, then we must be able to fulfill this order. After we produce the product to fulfill the order from customer, then we also need to be able to deliver it back to the customer like that. So this part called as sales and distribution. We need to plan about the sales and also the pre-sales activity. For example, in order to create new customer, in order to increase the demand, then we need to conduct, let's say, product campaign, or we need to conduct promotion and so on. It called as pre-sales activity. And that. Okay. After we formulate pre-sales activity, then we need to manage it using a software. Why? Because sometimes we need to analyze, which effort that will be effective. We already conduct, let's say, product campaign, but after that, yeah, we can evaluate, is product campaign effective? If no, then we need to change our strategy. Yeah. So if like that, then we cannot do it manually. Cannot. Yeah. So we need a system to record our activity. This system called as ERP. Okay. So then that's one the first part. The second part is upon the back end. In the back end, after we receive order from customer, then we need to check, yeah, the availability of the product in the warehouse. If there is no product, there is no stock, then we need to produce by ourselves. So it will be the production command. Yeah. After that, we can raise our production plan. Yeah. But when we try to execute the production plan, yeah, of course we need material. Yeah. Of course we need components. If we cannot produce by ourselves, then we need to purchase from the other company. So it will go to the purchasing department. Yeah. This part called as production planning. Yeah. Beside sales and distribution, we also need to have production planning module. Okay, student, and this production planning must be supported by raw material, must be supported by stock, yeah, stock management. So this module called as material management. Yeah, all of this module include in ERP. Not only that, actually, yeah, we just talk about material, but who produce the product, who operate the machine, yeah. So we can answer that the people will operate the operator will operate the machine. It means that we need to manage the people as well. We need to consider our human capital as well. Yeah, not only material. Yeah. When we discuss about forecasting until estimate and balancing, we just discuss about material management. But don't forget, human capital must be considered as well. Yeah, we need to make sure our employee can perform well. So how to make them perform well? Sometimes we need to send them to have workshop. Then the question is how to identify the effective workshop for them. Yeah, we cannot just leave. Yeah, we cannot just leave them to go to every workshop. Cannot be like that. Yeah, we need to have good plan. Yeah, in order to build the capacity of our employee, then we need to have a good plan about the workshop. How to identify the required workshop? Yeah, based on the thing required by every employee. So the process will be, yeah, they will propose. Yeah, they propose the workshop that they require. Then we need to analyze. After that, we can approve or we need to reject it, and then, yeah. After that, and don't forget, we need to prepare upon how we call it, reward and punishment. Yeah, we will give reward to company who can perform well, and after that, we also have punishment. Yeah, to the employee that cannot perform well. And then, yeah, the objective is not to punish actually, yeah, but to encourage, yeah, the underperformed employee to perform well. Yeah, like that. We cannot do it manually. No. So we must use ERP system. So increasing of use of IT will affect, yeah, to our MPC as well. MPC system defined. Okay. When we implement MPC, actually we must understand about the benefit of that. Yeah. So the benefit can be this one, yeah, for long term, intermediate term, and also for short term. For long term, yeah, MPC will provide information to make strategic decision. For example, yeah, if we want to build new plant, we want to build new factory, yeah, in a location, then this will be strategic decision. Why strategic? Because, yeah, we need more, yeah, resources. After we build, after we define the location, we build our factory there. Then the effect will be for long term. If like that, yeah, we call it a strategic decision. Yeah. Now we understand. Yeah. If we want to make strategic decision, we understand that we can get data to support our decision. Yeah, using MPC. Yeah, we can get the data from MPC. Yeah, like that. For example, yeah, we need to know the location of our customer. After that, we can cluster. Yeah, we can group the customer. Then we can try to identify, yeah, the best location to serve all of the customer. So if like that, yeah, in order to know the location of our customer, then we just need to go to sales and distribution module. Yeah. After that, we can display, yeah, our customer position. Yeah. See. Yeah. It means that when we want to make strategic decision, yeah, now we understand. Yeah, we can get data to support our decision. Yeah, through from the MPC. Intermediate term, matching supply and demand in terms of volume and product mix. Yeah. For example, production planning to ensure materials are ready when required. From forecasting until assembly and balancing, called as intermediate term. Yeah, so if we want to conduct good forecasting, if we want to arrange optimum aggregate planning and so on until assembly and balancing, then we know that we can get the data, or we can use MPC to do that. Okay, and the last is short term. It is more technical. This one long term is slightly global. Intermediate is more technical, but the last one will be very technical, called as short term. For example, if you want to conduct scheduling, this is very technical. Or if you want to manage our assembly and balancing, then we can use MPC as well. And then okay, student. I just continue my explanation. If you have some question, you can interrupt me. Then we can discuss after that. We can discuss after that. Okay. MPC system defined. We know that MPC must be supported by computer system. It means that we need extra investment. We need to invest to purchase a very good computer. We need to purchase the ERP software. It is not cheap. It is very expensive. For the information, in order to implement SAP, our university needs to pay around 2 billion, 2 billion, 2,000 million. Very expensive. What I'm trying to say is, in one side, we need extra investment. In another side, we need to make sure, after implementing MPC, we can get benefit. So we can have benefit cost ratio. We need extra cost for investment, but after that, please make sure we can get benefit from that MPC. So we can try to compare benefit with the cost. If the comparison equals to more than one, it means that MPC implementation is beneficial. We can get benefit from the implementation of MPC. If no, then we need to be careful. If the benefit cost ratio of MPC implementation is still less than 1, it means that the cost is still higher than the benefit. Then please make sure we can get another benefit from the implementation of MPC. So from here, we can try to get the benefit from MPC. Cost reduction, for example. Okay, using MPC, we must make sure we can reduce the cost. If no, then there will be no benefit. For what? For what we need to implement MPC? Product and process flexibility. See, by implementing MPC, then we need to make sure that we can create new customer, because we can increase our company flexibility. It means that we can supply another customer. So using MPC, we need to have another customer. Customer satisfaction also same. We can try to measure the customer satisfaction. After we supply our customer with our products, then we can spread out some survey in order to identify the customer satisfaction. Why we need to do this? When we need to measure customer satisfaction, because don't forget, our competitor will come to the same market. So if we cannot make sure that our customer satisfied with our products, then our competitor will cover our customer. That's a problem. Like that. Okay, student, and this is the framework for MPC. I start from here. Enterprise resource planning, or shorted become ERP system. In ERP system, there are 3 layers. The first called as front end, the second called as engine, the third called as back end. Okay, student. I start from the back end. Back end means that this layer will be used to control, the activity. So from here we can see, the activity will be this software system, production planning. We need to schedule the machines. We need to schedule the employee. Here in software system. This one will be used to produce the component that we can produce by ourselves. But if we cannot produce by ourselves, then we need to purchase from the other company. So by that, we need to have this one, supplier system. This will be the backend, the backend of the ERP system. It means that this layer, will supply the required material, will supply the required component. Will supply who? This one, the engine. The engine will be this one, the material capacity until the detailed material planning. And after that, this one will supply who? The front end. Front end include the customer. So here we have demand management. Don't forget, demand management, there are 2 inputs. The first input is the result of forecasting. The second input is the real order we receive from the customer. Don't forget about that. In MPS, in order to arrange MPS, we need to consider both input at a time. We need to consider the forecast, and also we need to consider the actual order. So in the DTF, demand time phase, I do hope you still remember about that, about DTF, demand time phase. In DTF, we need to consider the real order only. We can neglect the result of forecasting. Why? Because during DTF, we cannot change the plan. Actually, we can change the plan, but it will be costly. So we need to fix. We need to fix our plan. Forecasting is still have error. Actual order is the real order. It means that it's better for us to consider actual order, then we can neglect the forecasting. But after DTF, we have flexibility. If we need to hire a new worker, also we still have time. If we need to, let's say, ask the other company become our subcontractor, also we still have time. So the flexibility after DTF will be higher. If like that, it's better for us to consider the higher value between forecast and actual order. I hope you still remember about this, This one called as demand management. Okay, so that there are 3 layers, So please remember, when you have this lab work in MRP laboratory, because we have that laboratory, please remember that there are 3 layers, First, we need to discuss about the customer and also the customer demand. After that, we can discuss about the engine, to fulfill the customer, and after that, we can discuss about the back end. The back end is this one, to supply the raw material or to supply the required components. Okay, student. This one already explained about this, Okay, so we can skip. And this one, I think after this, I will upload this slide so you can learn by yourself for this, Okay, and evolution of MPC, I think this is just theory. Now we go here, concluding principle. So when we try to conclude, actually MPC is general purpose, general purpose concept. It means that we need to customize, we need to modify. We need to modify the general concept in MPC to fit with the condition of our company. For example, if our company is order based, if like that, then we don't need to implement forecasting, because in order based company, we can start the production activity only after we receive the demand, only after we receive the order from our customer. It means that we already know the real order from our customer. So if like that, we do need to forecast. We still can forecast, but not for the final products. We already know the demand. We can start the production activity only after we receive the real order. So we already know the quantity of the order, so we don't need to forecast. But before we create this product, we need to have stock. Stock of what? Stock of material, raw material, I mean. We need to have stock of raw material. If we don't have stock, then it will be the time to produce the product will be longer. We still need to order first from the supplier. We need to wait again until we receive the material. After that, we can produce the product. It will be longer time. In order to shorten the time, we need to have stock. Stock in the form of raw material. Because we can stock raw material, it means that we can predict the requirement in the future. So actually we can forecast, but not for the final product, but for the raw material. And then, so we need to customize. We need to customize. Yes, we still can use forecasting module, but not for final products, but for material. And then, so that's the key point. MPC is general purpose concept. We need to modify. We need to modify to be fit with our company condition. And also, we already know that MPC can be changed dynamically. It depends on the time, depends on the market, and depends on the technology. Technology. Okay, student. And then, I think that's all. For this evening, I just want to give you a big picture about PPIC2. It is about controlling. After you arrange the planning, after that you need to execute the planning. So you need to control. So PPIC2 is about controlling. More technical compared to PPIC1. Okay, student. Before we terminate our class, is there any question, please? We still have time to discuss. No question. Okay, very good. So we have clear presentation today. After this, I can upload my presentation slide to the Google Classroom. You can download and you can learn by yourself. Okay, student? If no question, then I will stop share. Then let's close this class by reciting Alhamdulillah together. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alamin. You can leave because I still need to read the chat room to settle your attendance. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.